Swimming and water survival. History does not record when swimming first began. Everybody knew that it is very old skill, probably as old as man himself. Some scholars believe that man learned how to swim as a result of his accidental immersion in deep water, or perhaps man first learned to swim for survival. There are classification of swimming strokes, the competitive strokes, and the survival or resting strokes. Currently, the strokes for competitive swimming are the American or Australian crawl known as freestyle, backstroke, breaststroke, and butterfly. For survival or resting strokes are elementary backstrokes, side stroke, and trident stroke. Freestyle. Of all swimming strokes, the crawl or freestyle is the most popular, the fastest, most efficient stroke, and beginners find it the easiest to learn. The technique involved in the swimming stroke is pretty simple. Swimmers float on their belly in the water and propel themselves by rotating the arm in a windmill motion and kicking the legs in a fluttering motion. The difficult part of this swimming technique is the condition of the breathing while performing the strokes, since the face remains in the water almost all the time. The arm should be moved alternatively in a rotating windmill type of motion. In order to swim in a straight line, each arm should be extended to full reach and pulled with equal force through the water. When under the water, the arm should be moved to form an S pattern. The legs are kicked alternatively in a fluttering motion. The knees should be bent slightly, the ankles and feet should be relaxed. For maximum propulsion, the downward kicking motion should be emphasized. So, how to breathe? The stroke is begun by raising one arm, and as the shoulder is raised, the head should be turned to the side to take a breath. Next is breaststroke. It's the oldest known swimming strokes. It is one of the four strokes used in competitive swimming, but it is also very popular in leisure swimming. In this stroke, the arms and legs move symmetrically. The arm should be kept overhead when starting the stroke. Then the arms should be brought toward the chest, pulling on the water. The hand should be kept cupped. Take the arm back to the starting position. The leg movement, the knees should be brought up to the chest. Then the legs should be thrust straight and backwards. The legs should be snapped together in order to push the water as well as propelling you forward to a frog kick. How to breathe? A breath should be taken each time a stroke is made. The butterfly strokes. In the variation of the breaststroke known as the butterfly, both arms are brought forward together over the water and then brought backward simultaneously. The movement of the arms is continuous and is accompanied by an undulating movement of the hips. The leg kick, called the dolphin kick, is a hip-like downward motion of the unseparated feet. The butterfly swimming technique. The arms should be moved together, pulling through the water, while the hands are kept cupped. The palms should be faced outwards and pressed in a downward as well as an outward movement. The leg movements. The knees should be kept together and slight bend. Then the knees thrusting movement while the feet are whipped downwards. For each arm stroke, two kicking movements should be performed. A breath should be taken at the culmination of each stroke of the arms. Next is backstroke. It's essentially the crawl stroke in its reverse form, with the swimmer's head back turned to the water. Alternately, one arm is lifted, palm facing outward from the leg and is brought up behind the head, while the other arm pulls the body through the water. A flutter kick is used. Is similar to the crawl, except that the swimmer float on their back in the water. The arms are moved in a similar alternating windmill motion and the legs kick in a fluttering motion. The two basic techniques of a backstroke are that the arms are moved with equal force for swimmers swimming off toward one side, that the body should be rolled from one side to the other, and the arms should be extended to their utmost reach for swimmers to propel forwards. The backstroke swimming technique. The arm stroke. The arm should be moved alternatively in a windmill pattern of movement as they are rotated. The hand should be cupped, and when it comes out of the water, the thumb should come out first. When under the water, the arm should be moved to form an S pattern. The leg movement. Like in the crawl, the legs are kicked in a flittering motion alternatively. The knees are bent slightly. The ankles and feet should be relaxed. However, unlike the crawl, for maximum propulsion, the upward kicking motion should be emphasized. How to breathe. The head should be kept facing up. Since the head is out of the water all the time, the breathing need not be as coordinate with the strokes of the arms or legs compared to the other swimming strokes. Hence, you can devise a pattern of breathing that you find most comfortable. Next is the survival or resting strokes. First is the side strokes. The safety stroke all lifeguards must master, but also offers recreation swimmers more variety in underwater movement and for survival rescue. It is a swimming stroke where the swimmer lies on one side. It is helpful as a life-saving technique and is often used for long-distance swimming. Next is the Trojan, a combination of side and freestyle swimming style for survival swimming. A swimming stroke, sometimes known as the racing stroke or the East Indian stroke, it named after the English Jan Trojan in 1852 to 1902. Last is the elementary backstroke. It's a swim stroke that expends minimal energy with simple arm and leg movements. This backstroke doesn't require any complicated breathing technique since the swimmer's head never goes underwater. The view of elementary backstroke. Float on your back with your arms and legs at your sides. Draw your knees up toward your chest. At the same time, draw your arms up along your sides, bending them at the elbows so that your hands are almost in your armpit. Kick your legs out and apart, then quickly squeeze them together. They should end up straight with your toes pointed. Extend your arms like an airplane and then squeeze them down against your side. Coordinate with your arms and legs so that both go up, out, and together all the same times. Glide and repeat.